You know, every poison, whether it's silent or swift, leaves a trail of clues inside the human body. But the trick, the real art, is knowing how to read them. So today, we're going to be medical detectives, uncovering the secret signatures of 4 pretty notorious toxins. Let's dive right in.
Okay, first things first, we need to understand our mission. What's the difference between a symptom and a signature? Well, anyone can feel a symptom, right? A fever, a stomachache. That's just a general alarm bell. But a signature? That's something else entirely. It's a specific, unique calling card left behind by one very particular culprit. It's really the difference between knowing a crime was committed and knowing exactly who did it.
All right, our first case file is on the infamous silent killer, carbon monoxide. It's so notorious because it's invisible, it's odorless, and it's absolutely deadly. But it's not without a signature. It's just probably not the one you're thinking of.
So, what do you think it is? I mean, pop culture and movies have given us this really dramatic idea of what CO poisoning is supposed to look like. But what does the science actually say is the first and most common warning sign?
If you were thinking of that telltale cherry red skin, well, that's the myth. The reality is so much more subtle and way more common. It's just a simple headache. That's the body's first scream for help.
So why a headache? Well, it all boils down to this one word, hypoxia. See, carbon monoxide is so dangerous because it basically bullies its way into your red blood cells and kicks the oxygen out. And when your brain is starved of oxygen, its blood vessels swell up to try and get more blood flow. And that pressure is what causes that throbbing headache.
And this is exactly why those other, more dramatic signs can be so misleading. Cyanosis, or blue skin, super uncommon. That classic cherry red skin, almost never seen in living patients. It's usually a sign found after death. And seizures? They only happen in the most severe, critical cases. So yeah, the very first clue is also the most ordinary one. Okay, for our next case, we've got methanol. This is a chemical you'd find in stuff like windshield washer fluid. And unlike carbon monoxide's subtle attack, methanol has a very specific and, honestly, a terrifying target.
So what is methanol's signature move? It doesn't just make you feel sick in a general way. No, it launches this pinpoint assault on one critical part of your body. Any guesses which part that is?
The answer is optic nerve toxicity. I mean, methanol poisoning is just famous in toxicology for its devastating effect on vision. Patients often describe it as like looking through a snowstorm, and it can lead to permanent blindness fast. But here's the crazy twist. It's not actually the methanol itself that does the damage. When your body tries to break it down, it creates a whole new substance, formic acid. This is the real villain. It is incredibly toxic, specifically to the optic nerve. It just shuts down your sight right at the source.
So, yeah, while methanol poisoning absolutely makes your blood dangerously acidic, its true, terrifying signature, its calling card, is the attack on the eyes. The other conditions just aren't its MO.
Our third poison is an ancient one, lead. This heavy metal, it doesn't deliver a single knockout blow. Oh no, it's a saboteur. It gets inside the body's machinery and just systematically grinds production to a halt.
So the question here isn't just about the symptoms, it's about the how. How does lead actually do its damage? What fundamental process deep inside our own cells does it go after?
Okay, check this out. Think of your body creating heme, which is a super crucial part of your red blood cells. Think of it like a factory assembly line. Well, lead gets in there and it's like a wrench thrown right into the gears. It blocks not one but 2 key enzymes, ALAD and ferrochelatase, and just completely wrecks the entire production line. Without heme, your red blood cells just can't do their job.
And this whole mechanism, it's pretty unique to lead. Acetylcholinesterase inhibition, for example, that's how things like nerve agents and certain pesticides work, by messing with your nerve signals. Lead's signature is different. It's a direct sabotage of our blood's production line.
For our final case, we're turning to maybe the most legendary poison of all time, arsenic. For centuries, this was the poison of choice for assassins. And its signature isn't something you see, it's something you might actually smell.
This is a classic question in forensic medicine. A few different poisons have distinct odors, but one in particular has a really common kitchen-like smell that serves as a major red flag. Do you know which one it is?
The answer is arsenic. For centuries, this has been one of the most famous signatures in all of toxicology. A strong garlic-like odor on the breath, with absolutely no garlic bread to explain it, that is a classic clue pointing straight to arsenic poisoning.
But don't get this confused with another famous poison, Cyanide. It has its own distinct smell, the scent of bitter almonds. It's a perfect example of how two incredibly deadly poisons leave behind two very, very different clues for your nose.
So what have we learned here? From a simple headache to a strange scent on the breath, the body is always telling a story. Each poison writes its own chapter, leaving behind its own unique signature. The key is just knowing the language.
We've looked at 4 really distinct signatures today, but there are thousands of other toxins out there. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible chemical stories are unfolding inside us right now, just waiting for a detective to come along and read the clues?